Hello, this is Gerald Johan van Waas. Let me introduce you a couple of words, how they are used and can be used, and as a systematic sound orientation, how we orientate ourselves in sounds and in the combination of sounds, and change it also into a more physical appearance in that position. And I will use for that the words mist that I had before, and I will gradually compare it to meet with written with E and A, and meet written with double E. Let's go. So what I use for the orientation of letters is that I assume that every letter is a specific orientation in time and space, and then you can analyze it by a system which is based upon a numerical system, but it goes beyond that as well. And you have all the letters, the basic letters, oriented upon a scheme, which you can see here in three categories. The first category are the more physical orientations in space. The second one is more the communicative in-between zone that evolves towards a certain change of position. And the last category is really the change itself, that you have to adapt to a changed position, to something that you don't know yet, so with elements that are slightly unknown. So you can visualize the first category very well, while the last category are the sounds that you can still hear, but you can't visualize them very well. That's why I have here the eye and the ear. So, and this is the part that we think to know that we start from, until the part that we hardly can distinct how it is, how we can hardly visualize it, but we still deal with it. We can still deal with the elements of the unknown. So these, all the letters are into that category. And we had already the previous example of mists. I will go back to it because I will start from there. So the M is then the position in the system at the edges, or where it is growing in the form. So it is physical, it's physically growing in form. That's the orientation. The E is actually the insertion of a new unknown area that we will adapt to that place. And the S is at the edges of what we understand, so it is actually dispersing itself there. So how can we combine that? And of course, yes, so the T of the T is the physical orientation that we pinpoint it in the middle, and we say, okay, I can use that part. So we put that all a bit more to the one position, that we can have it as neat as possible. So we have the insertion of what is extending. So we have an attempt to find some new place as the E, but it is dispersing. So it is quite uneasy to find a new orientation into what is extending actually physically. So the M is this enlarging, the physical enlarging. The I is then the trying to penetrate into this enlarging, which is actually spreading itself into the unknowns, the unknown factor. So it's getting also less predictable how we try to penetrate into that physical extension. Actually, this enlargement of the physical extension, which is dense, and we can hardly distinct something there. So that's a bit a way how we can orient it ourselves into it. We try to recognize something with our eye. You see, it is enlarging. The field of physicality is enlarging. We try to see something new in it with the E. But because of the S at the end of the extensions that we can hardly grasp what it is actually dispersing, and so in the mist we can hardly predict anything there. So that's more or less the way how you can analyze the word as a letter combination and how we understand what it is. We can describe it in different ways, but it all comes down to the same kind of things, how we understand it. Let's go now to the meet and meet with a different way how this has been written. So also there, the M is the starting point, the E is the extension. Actually, it's also about inserting the sound that you hear is also about the inserting of something new. So you try to distinct something that is developing as a new thing. So is the M is the starting point, the E is the extension, the A is the physical thing, and the T is the pinpointing of that I can recognize something, I can use something from a physical that has a physical relationship. So here it is written down. So yeah, I start from the physical enlargement that is growing and changing in time with the A. It is changing into something physical, some more central, and I try to have it recognized or as something functional. So let's do that a little bit more in the physicality. So if I have the M as the enlarging of a physicality at the edges, I have it at that border. So I'm trying to make it also physical, more visible. This is the area. Now it's a full area. It is about A in the end, so I'll have to lend it into something physical as well. So I'll start already from the physical border here, and that is going to be extended and going to become more and more physical, from A, evolving, changing into something in time, to A, the letter A, or the A, to something physical. So that's how I have this extension which grows and becomes more and more physical. And that's also the physical representation of the meat. That's where you can recognize this growing and gradually growing in time until I find the physicality, and T, with a T, make it functional, see it as something functional. That's how I express myself with the word meat. So here in the scheme, added in the scheme, it's the same thing. Different with meat, with the double A. The double A, it's no longer with the A or the E. It's so confusing with the English. I should have some universal ways how to express these letters, but okay. The sound is there written 2 times, and it's in this area of communication. It's the extension, the physical enlargement is there, but the A in the end, or A, is no longer there. So there's no longer an emphasis that it has to become more physical. No, it is about this communicating field is there. So you could also show it as this extension, more or less comparable, but without this physicality. So we're extending ourselves from what we know as an energy and within this field of communication. And within this field of communication, of course, it will try to find in the middle of it the communication area where we will meet with a double A, with an emphasis, of course, on the A. The double A is that we have the communication in these areas, the communicative area where we distinguish something and where the ends meet in communication. That's what it is. It's about communication. In the extensions of ourselves, we communicate and we meet each other, as it is expressed here as well. Anyhow, I hope these words were already a little bit more comprehensible, by analyzing them as letter combinations, as orientations in time and space, and with a physicality that you can enlarge or can bring to the fore a little bit better to show you what is going on there in the kind of combinations of letters. And I hope these were already a little bit more comprehensible how these letter combinations work together. Thanks for watching. This was Gerald-Johan van Baas. There's a website with a link there with a short URL where you can have a list of previously recorded videos of other words. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like, if you want to have more instructions and more explanations soon. Thanks again. Bye.